Merry Christmas, Corey. As a present to you, I have decided to make a Corey Lewis compilation. The best videos of you on this channel. And stay tuned afterwards for a few kind-hearted words from Gorman Lewis. And we're done here. I would like to congratulate my sister Corey, who has just walked the entire Appalachian Trail. Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah. I stole that. Alright, so Corey Lewis, you have done an amazing job. How many miles was it? 2,189 miles?
92.
92. Okay,
Yeah.
I want to get the specifics.
Add 3 more, yeah.
Okay. Well, she's here, and I'm going to be asking her 10 questions. 10 questions for Corey Lewis.
Okay.
The first one I want to ask you, when you started this out, it seemed like you just did it. I never really understood the reason why you decided to walk the Appalachian Trail. I would never do this, by the way. I've done a lot of stupid...
So the question is,
I've
why
done
are
a lot
you
of
crazy enough to walk the whole
Yes,
Appalachian Trail?
I have done a lot of crazy things on this show, but I would never do this for this show. I'm going to let you do this for this show. But what was the actual reason? Like, why? And why?
Well, I think growing up in the Appalachians as we did, I was always sort of, as soon as I heard about the Appalachian Trail, I was always sort of entranced by it. And after hiking a short section with my mother-in-law and my husband last year, I was so upset when I had to stop. I was like, I want to keep going. I want to go with these people and hike through the White Mountains. And so when I had the opportunity to do the whole thing, or even just to do half of it, it was like a dream come true to be able to hike every day. And I think also just to prove to myself that I could do it.
Yeah, it sounds very painful to me. It sounds like it would be very hard to do.
It's not many people's dreams, but...
Well, it was your dream. The next question I want to ask you is, what did you have to do? What was all the things you had to do to walk the Appalachian Trail? It seems to me like it would be pretty difficult,
Yeah.
I was reading that book, Bill Bryson's book about a walk in the woods.
Oh, no!
And a lot of people apparently on the Appalachian Trail don't like that book, but it's just like he had to carry this really heavy backpack and he had to go from station to station, and he didn't even complete the trail. That was a book about him failing to do it, and you've succeeded. But like, how did you manage to do it? Prove to the people, show the people that like want to complete the trail, not to be like Bill Bryson. Tell them how you did it.
Okay, well, the secret is that you have to walk every day. Seriously, like, I think the biggest thing is that you just have to get up and walk and do it. So if you think you can do it, go out there and try it. And if you need to stop after a week or after a day or after a month or when you get to the halfway point or whenever, that's enough for you, that's great. But I think just getting out there and walking, and it's going to suck on a lot of days. It's going to rain, and you're going to not feel like walking, and your feet are going to hurt, and you're going to really wish that you had a shower or a bed or a meal or maybe just like a guilty TV show that you can watch. But if you just keep walking, you'll get there eventually.
But like, what kind of stuff did you have to carry too? Like, what kind of equipment? How did you know where to stop at like stations? Were there just like, were there just hotels across the walk, like down the trail?
Hotels and Ubers.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm
But
just
like,
kidding, I'm just kidding.
But was there like places for you, like where did you sleep? Did you just sleep in the woods all the time, or was it occasionally you'd get some place to stay?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're interested in doing it, you should definitely research it. But I tried to think about it as like 3 to 5 day little sections. So if you think about going out and backpacking for 3 to 5 days, you start in one town and then maybe you're in the woods for a couple days and then you end in another town. And if you break it down like that, it becomes really manageable, even though you're doing that back to back to back to back to back for 6 months. But then you're only really carrying enough food for a couple days, so that makes it a little bit easier to plan. But I think definitely you kind of have to be a little bit more off the cuff
So, like...
You can't plan everything. I knew many people who had, like, spreadsheets down to, like, I'm going to stop in this town, I'm going to stay at this campsite, and they never could stick to them. But it's certainly good to have goals and to kind of have an idea of what's coming up.
So you didn't really, like, plan the whole thing?
Like,
not all of it was
barely
hotels.
planned,
Just
you know.
a little bit.
Like,
you made up most of it.
I'm a planner in every other part of my life, but this was sort of, as you know, because I hadn't even planned really to do the whole thing. I'd only planned to do half, so when I decided to do the whole thing, I was like, well, I guess I'm just like flying by the seat of my pants here, or walking by the seat of my pants, just trying to figure out as I go, and it works out. Yeah. It's better that way, I think.
Yeah, that's what we do on this show. We just basically make it all up as we go along.
Yeah.
Anyways, I have another question here for you. Who were some of the people you got to meet on the Appalachian Trail?
Oh man, there are all types. I think when you're on the fringes of society with these people that all decided to quit their jobs or leave their wives, or like, you know, just out of college, no money, you get like just a whole slew of different folks, and I think that's awesome because you get to meet some really interesting characters. I met a guy that his name was nameless, but he looked like Jesus, and he only night hiked, and he carried a bamboo staff with no headlamp. So this guy was out there hiking at night with no headlamp, which is kind of terrifying to run into if you have to pee in the middle of the night. But I met some really cool people. Like, I just admire the people so much out there. Some people that like lived out of their vans half the year, or, you know, worked as like pizza delivery guys and loved it, and people who dressed up as Santa Claus and climbed to the top of mountains.
What?
Like, I have so many different people, and I think that's kind of cool. It's a bunch of people who are really just kind of creating their own lifestyle and their own sort of way of living for themselves, which is neat. They're not necessarily living within the constructs of society.
You also got like a lot of family members to go on the trail with you, mom and dad and me, and
Gorman.
I think yes, and he went 20 miles with you, right? 20 miles.
I mean, he might have told you that, but I don't know.
Yeah, he's becoming a bit of a
he
bum
likes to
lately.
Exaggerate things.
He keeps claiming he's the older brother. And I'm pretty sure that was never found out. It was during the hospital.
Yeah,
There's like
I kicked
a lot
his
of
butt.
problems.
I was like...
Well, you kicked both of our butts.
You're better.
If you all didn't know this, we never found out who the older brother was during the pregnancy. My mom claims that it was Gorman, but I don't know. But anyways, let's move on to the next question. Oh, and also the Beneduce family, which I'll just give a shout out to them real quick. Who also hiked on the trail with them. But anyways, moving on. What was some of the wildlife you saw? You know, I didn't even really hear any stuff about this. I didn't know if you ran into any
beyond
bears.
The hikers, they were pretty ragged and pretty wild. Well, I saw 23 bear.
23
I
bear?
felt pretty good about this. I think
is that like 23 and me bear or what? What? 23 bears?
Bear, yeah.
You saw all at the same time.
Yeah, they were having a party. No, I saw them at different states. Definitely a lot in the Shenandoah Valley. If you're looking for a wildlife nature hike, go there. It's like a zoo. I saw a lot of squirrels that tried to, trip me in the middle of the trail. I saw a lot of bird, like grouse and turkey, and I saw, I probably murdered a lot of newts on the trail, unfortunately. I remember just, hiking really fast one day and looking underfoot and seeing, like, the trail covered in these tiny little orange newts and being like, oh, I hope that they weren't there the whole time. I'm just kind of barging through here. And yeah, I mean, I didn't see a moose, which was probably my biggest regret, unfortunately. And I didn't see a bobcat, but other than that, a lot of the East Coast animals. Had a lot of conversations with bear.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to meet any animals on the trail. I don't think. Well, I mean, what if they attacked me?
An otter.
Yes, an otter. An otter is one of my favorite animals. Not my favorite.
Seth loves otter.
I don't know what I said my favorite one was. I think rabbit or something. I don't know. But I think I've said that on the show before. I forget at this point. I think the Red Panda...
Don't check him on that.
Red Panda is the mascot of the show. I like red pandas.
What about a sloth bear?
A sloth bear? That'd be kind of cool. Maybe just a sloth. That'd probably be more accurate animal for this channel at this point. 500 episodes, I'm very tired. 500 episodes, I'm very tired. All right, what was some of your favorite places to hike? I'm sure you saw some beautiful ones.
Yeah, I mean, so the trail was originally envisioned as sort of this retreat for people that lived on the East Coast, because when they were establishing the national park system, a lot of the national parks were out west, like Yosemite and Yellowstone and Glacier, and there weren't a lot of sort of outdoor areas for people that lived on the East Coast in these heavily populated urban areas to experience. So I think it's really cool that the Appalachian Trail originally was envisioned as sort of a place where people on the East Coast could get away and they could go camp and fish and hike and just be in nature. And I think a lot of times we forget that we have these amazing places in our backyard. And yeah, sure, the trail goes through a lot of towns, but some of my favorite places like Tinker Cliffs in Virginia or Grayson Highlands, a park that a lot of people don't know about. This amazing little park. It's a state park in Virginia that has all these wild ponies and these beautiful balds and all these cool rock formations and amazing rhododendron whenever it's blooming. A place that, I never would have thought to go, but was just super magical. Maine is another great place.
Absolutely.
You had a chance to go and visit me there. These perfectly pristine, lakes, rolling hills, lots of fishing, lots of cool bugs. So those are probably two of my favorites. I think Maine, it was the last state, so I was on such a high anyways. Just be like, oh, I'm finally done. I don't have to hike every day anymore. It made it really great for me, and also it wasn't raining, so that was pretty nice too.
So no like favorite place? No favorite place?
I think Maine.
Maine, really?
Yeah, for sure. It was,
wow.
But the first part of it was so hard. It was kind of insane. There's this section called Mahoosic Notch. It's called the best or worst mile of the trail, because it's essentially this kind of cool valley. It's, this notch that's filled with all these big boulders, and when you get there, you're like, what is this? The trail it's going through there, and you see this white blaze ahead on the rocks, and then you literally have to pick your way. You have to leap from rock to rock. You have to kind of swing off of tree trunks and crawl under rocks, and there are parts where you feel like you're caving, but eventually you get through it. But it takes people 2 to 3 hours to get through the single mile of the trail, so it's a tough one.
Wow, I wasn't expecting Maine, honest to God.
Really?
I thought I was thinking West Virginia or something like that.
No.
Did you hike through West Virginia?
So the West Virginia and Maryland section of the trails were such a letdown, because being from this part of the country, you think, oh my gosh, it's going to be I'm used to going to Swallow Falls and West Virginia has beautiful places in Dolly Sods and the Seneca Rocks, and then you go through the West Virginia and the Maryland sections, and it's 40 miles, and you're kind of well, this is kind of lame. It's beautiful, but you're going past Hager Sound. It's not that exciting.
Oh, okay.
I know,
well,
what a bummer. It was my home state, so I
don't think it'd be that fun for me either.
I crossed the Mason-Dixon line. That was cool.
Yeah. Well, we're going to have to cut it off there. This episode ran a little long, but if you want to see more of the girl who walked the Appalachian Trail, stay tuned for part 2, which will be coming out this Wednesday. And get ready for the 500th episode of Almost Everything. Every day when you're walking down the street,
everybody that you meet
has an original point of view. And I say, hey, what a wonderful time of day, where we can learn to love and play.
We get along with each other.
You got to listen to your heart. Listen to the beat. Listen to the rhythm. The rhythm of the street. Open up your eyes. Open up your ears. Get together and make things better. By working together. It's a simple message. And it comes from afar.
Believe in yourself. That is the place to start. I'm going to get high when the going gets rough.
I'm going to love life.
Until I'm done coming up.
And when I'm going down, I'm going to go down swinging.
I'm still smiling and my heart's still singing.
And I say, hey.
Hey. What a wonderful time of day.
Where we can learn to love and play. And get along with each other. Hey! This is the second part of my interview with Corey Elise Lewis about her journey on the Appalachian Trail, black bears, trail magic, and a lot of cobwebs. This is her story.
What was the best thing about walking the Appalachian Trail? This is going to be a hard one. It could be a sight, an animal, just walking it in general.
I think, like, somebody said, like, you don't have to walk the Appalachian Trail, you get to walk the Appalachian Trail. I thought that was really a cool saying because it really is a luxury to be able to wake up every day and instead of going to, like, a 9-to-5 job to just get to walk and experience nature. Sometimes it's boring, sometimes it's a rainy day, sometimes you don't see a single view, but just getting to be in nature every day and walk is pretty cool.
Oh. What was the worst thing, though?
Also walking every day.
That was the worst thing, too?
So, like, getting up when you're really sore, or, like, it's pouring, or it's really cold. I mean, in Maine, at the end, it would be, like, almost freezing, and I would wake up, and my fingers were cold. And I just wanted to stay in my sleeping bag. I was like, I can't get out and walk. And then I'd get up, and I'd have to pack up my tent and make some crappy breakfast and start walking with my breath just, like, visible in the air. And my hands could barely grip my trekking poles. And, you know, you do it. It's not the worst, but maybe the worst would be cobwebs. So if you're the first person on the trail in the morning, you definitely get to the job of cobweb sweeping. So with your face, usually it's like, I remember hiking up this one mountain and just like being like, mosquitoes in the summer. One time I went through this section of Massachusetts I called it the Gauntlet because for like probably 5 miles, I just couldn't stop. I couldn't stop to pee. I couldn't even stop to like think. Because there were mosquitoes swarming me. We were going through this swamp, and I looked out at my shoulder one time, and there were 5 mosquitoes just landed on my shoulder. That was maybe the worst.
We actually have some pictures of you with the bites from the mosquitoes. We can go ahead and show that right now, actually.
Oh my gosh.
No, not really. I'm just joking. No, we don't have any pictures.
Okay.
But actually, I think I did see a picture at some point, but we were not going to show you that. Anyways, can you tell us what the culture was like? This is something I was really interested in, the culture of the trail, like what the people were often like, and not just what they were like, but like sort of the customs on the trail, you know, the slang, just a little bit of it. You don't have to get into all of it, but just a little bit.
I mean, there's definitely so much. Hiker trash is its own sort of culture. I think it's definitely people that like to live cheaply and take risks and live authentically, which I think carries over. There's a lot of hitchhiking, which I think I would never think about hitchhiking anywhere, ever, except on the Appalachian Trail. When you get to a road and you're like, man, I would really like a big burrito right now, and the only way to get there is to convince some nice old couple to pick me up on the side of the road with my thumb and maybe a little dance move. So that's an interesting part of the culture. There's also, in all of the towns along the trail, there are these people called trail angels, and they're just these amazing, generous people who open up their homes or bring food and cook for hikers. And they really just try to make sure that when you're passing through that town, you feel like you're home for a second, and they really take care of you. it's cool. There's also trail magic. So sometimes the Appalachian Trail is unique in that it passes through a lot of roads and communities. So sometimes you'll be walking and you'll see this cooler on the side of the trail, and you open it up and there's some ice cold Gatorades or sodas or sometimes beer and lots of great snacks. So it's kind of cool to be able to see that culture come through. But I think in general, like, people get to know each other pretty quickly and are pretty open with each other, which is cool. It's very inclusive. I would love to see more diversity on the trail. I'd love to see like more women and more people of color and minorities, because I think it's such a great experience right now that it's definitely a lot of like young white men, which is great. But I'd love to see just like more people have a chance to experience it.
A lot of hippies. I noticed the feather thing also too, the little feather thing in the hat.
Sure, I think it's.
I don't know if that's part of the Appalachian Trail or not, but that was something we saw while in Maine.
You know what? There's a lot of like flamingo print shorts I noticed. Yeah, there's a lot of different looks going on out there. People love to dye their hair, get piercings or tattoos or whatever for the trail. I know a lot of women who like shave. Women shave their heads and men grow beards, which is an interesting contradiction. Yeah. But I think it's cool. People just kind of do something different and have a different self.
We'll have to make this a part 2, I think, at some point. But anyways, no, it's not your fault. It's actually just there's a lot to talk about. I mean, my goodness, you were on the Appalachian Trail for how many days? 5 months?
Like almost 5 months, yeah.
Wow, that's a lot. There's a lot of information to get through.
Yeah.
But finally, what did you miss most when you returned from walking the Appalachian Trail? Also, what do you miss most while walking the Appalachian Trail from regular society?
Oh, my bed, probably. Oh, and my husband, of course. No, well, my bed, because you sleep on a very thin little air mattress on the ground, on rocks usually, and some kind of acorn that's just like in the middle of your back in the middle of the night. But I certainly miss being around family. I think it's hard. The time commitment is really tough for anyone, just to be away from your family if you have kids or if you have a significant other or partner or even just your parents and your siblings. Just being away from home for that amount of time is really tough. And you see a lot of people quit because of that, and I think that's totally okay. You do what's right for you, but it definitely was tough for me here.
Coming back too, it's like probably, I don't know what it would be like, but probably a lot changed, right?
Yeah, I'm like a wild animal coming into civilization. I'm just like, what is happening? It's like a deer in headlights.
Yeah, and just getting used to not like walking around all the time too, I bet. Just your legs probably now sore all the time.
Yeah, I just have people carrying me from place to place.
Wheelchair.
I'll
that's
probably need one, unfortunately, with my knees the way they are.
it takes a little while to recover, honestly. That is one thing people don't really talk about, but you need time.
Yeah, I
honestly.
think a lot of people also are coming back and they've quit jobs or they've like left certain situations or they're entering a new phase in their life. So having being cognizant of people coming back from the trail and sort of figuring that out and giving them space and time and positive energy is really important.
Well, this is the last question. This is one we decided to save for last. This is about what your trail name was, because we had this argument while we were walking the Appalachian Trail, what you were going to be called. My name is Mudwalker. She's not happy with that. But
I thought your name was Riverwalker.
Mudwalker is much more interesting in my opinion. But
I think Mudwalker is better.
I don't know.
Riverwalker sounds like you're trying to be in like a Keanu Reeves movie.
Yeah, Gorman's is hat wearer. Dad's is grouchy old man.
No,
I don't know.
he was like one of the Seven Dwarfs, Grumpy or something.
Grumpy?
Oh no, Frank the Tank.
Mom is wonderful.
She doesn't have one.
She doesn't have one. Okay. But what was yours? And this is an interesting story. There's actually a little bit of a tale to this one, isn't there?
Yeah, so, well, I had a lot of trail names. I tried really hard to get hardcore to stick, but Mom said that it sounded like porn, so...
Oh, jeez.
I had to nix that one in the bud really quickly. What else did I have? I had a whole slew for a while. I had, my tent was broken, so the stakes in my tent were sticking out of the back of my backpack like an antenna, and I would tell people that it was my Dish network that I took with me on the trail. So I got called Dish, I got called CTV, I got called something else that had to do with that. Someone called me Ika Mouse because I am terrified of mice and I won't sleep in shelters because of that. Someone else called me Creeper Magnet, and I'll let you figure that one out.
Yeah, I don't want to figure that out.
What else did I get called? Sister Bear, because I saw quite a lot of bear on the trail.
Her name is Corey Bear.
Corey Bear, Seth calls me, and Gorman. Yeah, so I had a lot of different attempts, and what was the other one? Destroying Angel was a favorite because there's a mushroom actually called Destroying Angel, and it's small and white and like totally deadly. So someone called me that for a bit, which I thought was really funny. But one of my favorites was one guy would, well, it wasn't my favorite, but one guy always called me 12 because, after 12-year-old boy, because I made this joke that my sense of humor was like a 12-year-old boy. And he thought that was so funny, this idea that like you would check in the logs and there would be like someone signing like, oh, I just stopped here for lunch, 12-year-old boy. Or like, oh, I had to like use the privy, 12-year-old boy. And then you meet 12-year-old boy and it's like this 31-year-old woman. You're like, what? I wasn't expecting that. So he called me 12 a lot, and it never really stuck, and I was sort of reluctant to take it on. But then when he passed away, when he got off the trail, after New York, I thought, like, I really wanted to take one of his names with me to the end because he had been, such a great friend and sort of partner for me on the trail, and just someone that always was sort of persistent in naming me, and he had such a funny sense of humor, so quirky, that I decided, like, from now on I'm going to be 12. So I was 12 until the trail.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the official trail name, right? The official trail
that's
name
the
of
final,
Corey Lewis,
yeah.
12. Well, you have done an amazing thing. This is something you can hold with you for the rest of your life.
Thank you.
You
Well, I
are
had a lot of people
an
supporting
incredible
me,
sister, and I could never do this.
including you.
It would be very hard. I would have a hard
You could
time
definitely
trying to
do
do
it.
this. I might be able to do it, but I
He
wouldn't
could
want
get away
to.
without showering.
Yeah, that would be
He would
the
just
easy
eat
part.
junk food all the time.
Yeah, I don't think you ate enough junk food. You're just like your metabolism is all off now, I think. Because you got really thin during it. You lost a lot of weight, right? No,
I mean, some.
a little bit. Well, that's
But
not
yeah,
good.
anyway.
I can't believe.
I ate a lot of peanut butter. And, like Snickers bars. Yeah.
But I'm very proud of you. And I think that's something that all of us here can say. Great job, Corey Lewis, for walking the Appalachian Trail.
Thanks. Thank you.
Did I fool any of you? You thinking I was a picture? Did I get you there? Well, it's worth a try. Hi guys, and welcome to the Seth Lewis Show. And on this episode, I'm wearing this hat. You could just deal with that. Okay, so if you haven't figured it out, this episode's going to be about Corey Lewis. And you might remember her from some past episodes.
Over here we have the big sister booger eateress. We're gonna go up nice and slow so not to startle her. Hold on. Right.
Interesting, aren't they? Stop.
All right.
Really very charming girl. I actually might go ahead and just take off this hat. I know it's funny right now, but trust me, after a little while, it'll get a little annoying. I'm not going to let it overstay its welcome. Okay, 10 amazing things about Corey. Corey has a strange connection with velociraptors. When she was a kid, she used to be terrified of them. She'd have nightmares about them. She used to think that I was going to turn into a velociraptor and eat her, which, of course, hasn't happened yet. But as she got older, it began to change. She was watching that movie. I don't know if any of you've heard of it. It was about these dinosaurs that break out of the theme park or something like that. I don't know. I don't watch many movies. But anyways, during the velociraptor scene in that movie, she actually cried when then all the velociraptors died except for one of them. So I guess she likes velociraptors now. I don't know. She has a bit of a crush on Larry the Cable Guy, and if you're not aware who Larry the Cable Guy is, he's this guy. I've got to admit, I've always saw her more as a Mr. Beans sort of girl, but then her kids would look something like this. Her favorite animal is a llama. Her favorite film of all time is The Ladies' Man. And for you that don't know what The Ladies' Man is, this is to jog your memory. Yeah, I know you all were expecting me to judge her on this, but actually I'm a big fan of this movie too, so sorry. There's no voice of sanity here. She also, you know what? Hell with it. Hell with it. She also loves to paint a lot. She does a lot of drawings, like this one of a cat. I really like this actually. I think it's cool. It looks exactly like her cat Pew. Oh, and she also has that painting over there. Very nice. Don't know what it is, but I mean, hold it up anyways. She does a lot of artwork for the show actually. Okay, don't tell her I told you this. But Corey has a tattoo of a smiley face on her wrist. And, shh, keep it a secret. She would be very happy if I told you. Corey, like me, can touch her tongue on her nose. We're a very talented family. She gave me this award as World's Greatest Brother. Something I'm very proud of. She even got my appearance correct. Look it. That's an exact replication of me, right down to the muscles and the golden butt cheeks. Yes. Thank you, Corey. A lot of people don't know this, but Corey and me actually were born in different places. Corey was born in Florida, and I was born in Garrett County. It didn't really, I mean, she was only there for a little while, but technically, we come from different states. She's a Florida girl, and I'm a Maryland boy. So, it is hard to get along with her sometimes. I mean, we have such different ideologies. Our cultures just have to try and mix together and work together. It was hard growing up because of just the vast difference in where we came from. And finally, Corey has been a lot of places and seen a lot of things. She's been to Iceland, Ireland, Italy, South America, Canada. She's been all over the United States, from New York to Las Vegas. And she's done a lot of things. She went skydiving, she kissed the Blarney Stone, she met Bill Nye the Science Guy. And I like to end off with her philosophy on life, which is, life is an adventure, live it. Which I think is pretty good. So here's to you, Corey. Happy Corey Week. Whoa! What are you guys doing back here? This is the end of the video. Well, as long as you're here, I do have an announcement to make. I've decided on 5 different possibilities for the new title of the show. It's The Seth Lewis Show, The Seth Show, Angry Banana, One Man, One Show,
And finally, the couch. So you all can decide which one of those you like the most. Leave below in the comments what you think is best. And abrupt stop.
Okay, so here we are at the cabin, and this is Maine. This is a Maine adventure. Hello everyone. You'll have to excuse me if I don't film too much, but I'm sick. I wanted everyone to see just a few things while I was here. And this is one of them, this tiny little cabin. 1 room, 4 beds, and nothing really in it. No electricity or anything, because I don't need it. I'm good. Yeah, no sink or anything either. They do have showers down here. But anyways, we're planning on going boating, which is one of my favorite things. And I will go ahead and show you a little bit in the cabin.
More thing. I'm just done.
Gosh, this place is so small. That was it. That was all there was to the cabin. Anyways, Maine. And this is the outhouse section of our... Oh, there's a truck. And this is the outhouse section and the tree of shoes. Here is the visitor center, as you can see. You can see the little yard here for people to play in. They got a campfire, some volleyball. Always felt like a... You know, something about volleyball, it really makes you just a mad person. You just hit the volleyball. Anyways, and this is where the showers would be. I'm not going to take you in there, though, because I look like a creep. But I want to show you something really special. And here is what I wanted to show you. It's one of the most beautiful sights I've seen in a long time, ever since Ireland. This is the little shipyard. We also got a little canoes here so people can go out on the boat. We got life jackets. I've already went canoeing. I was going to take you all, and, you know, by carrying the camera, but I was afraid of getting the camera wet. It was a huge risk to take. We might go camping, canoeing later, if we get the time, but isn't that the most magnificent sight you could ever imagine? It's quite beautiful. And the cool thing about it is all these lily pads, they grow up and they like reach for the sun. You can see them all across the lake. So, I don't know if anyone's seen anything like this, but definitely check it out if you ever come to Maine. If you want, or don't, you know, I don't really care. Okay, and this here is the main center. This is all the stuff, the fireplace and a grill and a little bar, I suppose. Back there is just for a band, I guess. Very nice. Oh, and there's a pool table.
So we are now going to visit Corey, who has finished her 2,000-mile hike. I'm excited.
And here she is. She has walked 2,000 miles, everyone. We're going right up to her. This is her having completed the Appalachian Trail. I forget what her nickname is. Well, we'll reveal that later. She just completed 2,000 miles. Probably more. Hi.
Congratulations.
Hi, bro. Hi, everybody.
Yeah, I bet it feels good, doesn't it?
Yeah, you're seeing us at our best right here.
You're finished. Hi.
They'll probably be back down in half an hour. We just met him and Corey. Corey talked to me.
How was it up there, everybody?
Awesome. So cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was worth the 6 months.
We also got you Crocs there. Whoa! Alright, I'm going to try this main drink. It's called Moxie. Here, let me show you. This is it. This
Such
is
a
the
huge accomplishment.
thing.
Is that her?
It tastes
Seth, you spilled that on me.
just a little bitter. It's a little bitter tasting. Okay. So this is the tent. Looks so magical. Let's open it up. See what's inside. Oh. Smelly old man. Cheese. You can tell I'm hungry. Oh, this is the bedroom. Beautiful bunk beds. I'm sleeping on top. I'm fearless. And that is it. Ta-da! Americana.
So now we have arrived at Thunderhead, and I just wanted to first show you the view from up here. Pretty cool, right?
We were told this was really a nice place in Maine. Oh, over there. This reminds me of the place where they shot that one boring movie, The Last Jedi. Yeah, it was okay. I kind of found it boring, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. It wasn't like it was bad, it was just boring. It was too perfect. I think that's what went wrong. That's why here on Almost Everything we make sure... That's why we here at the Almost Everything channel have a rule. Never make things perfect or good. Just a little bit close to good. That's what we go for. That way people won't be bored. It's an important rule to follow. There's a cool looking bridge.
This bridge is really super. Don't mind entering Prospect.
Looks like a pencil.
Holy shoot.
So we came only to discover that the place we wanted to eat at was closed. But here we are at the docks of the bay. As you all know, I have a deep love of boating. I know, it might surprise some of you. I've always had a weakness for stories about pirates. I think that's why I like Treasure Island so much. Just because there's boats. If you want to get on my good side with any story, you just make it about boating and pirates and stuff, and I'll just be completely on your side. There's never been a boating story I haven't liked. So that's just a tip for anyone who wants to please me. I don't know why you would, but... Wow. That is so cool.
I know, I'm proud of you.
Don't tell. Wow. Is this the only lighthouse in Maine? What was it again? The only lighthouse in this area? Please don't hit the bell. Wow. I love lighthouses. And there we are. Alright. Oh, those outlines are cool. Yep. We are on the George Washington Bridge. It's a big bridge, isn't it?
You know what I mean?
It's like we're in another world.
I'm not one for lovey-dovey speeches, but what I will say is that you've come a long way from being a little girl in Garrett County who hit her brother's hat off his head all the time and told him he looked like a weirdo, and he needed to take it off, which still haven't listened, to being a girl in a big city changing the world, and I know that you're going to do even greater things. I'm proud of you, and I could imagine having a greater big sister. Well, keep in touch. How do you turn this thing off?